So have you ever asked yourself or looked around your building and thought, man, if this place burns down, I wonder if I'll have enough insurance? Or maybe you've completed an addition or maybe just built that building and you're wondering, I want to protect my investment. I want to make sure I have enough if there's a loss to cover it. Here's how what agents should be doing to figure out that limit. Carriers do it a little bit too, but it's really on the agent to make sure this number is correct. And one of the things that I've heard is that people who've been doing this a really long time have said it's almost always not enough because it's always ticking up, right? Inflation is always ticking up a little bit. So we've got to be hawks on this, and making sure it's correct is very important. So I wrote on the whiteboard really the three ways you can come back into this number to make sure it's correct. So a good way and a quick way is just to take your square footage and your limit, or divide your limit by your square footage, come up with a cost per square. If you have a lot of built-ins, right? Like maybe a restaurant, or maybe it's an office with just like a lot of partitions, and you're coming out maybe sub 250 per square foot, you might have to check that limit. So much depends on the building, and I'll talk about that later. But this is a really quick way to just spot check that limit. The second way, and the most common way, is that the agent, and honestly a lot of times the carrier will do this, run an RCE, or replacement cost estimator. We use different software systems to do this. I have kind of a rule. I hate doing an RCE in a building I've never been in, because there's little nuances you want to catch to make sure it's correct. And then the third way, and the best way, talk to a contractor, see what they say. They might look at the building and say, yeah, it's going to cost X dollars. Take it with a grain of salt. They're probably going to aim high because they don't want you to come back and say, okay, build that building for me, and then all of a sudden they realize that they underbid it. So, and certainly it's not official or anything, but if you know somebody that can give you that type of information, it is usually the most accurate way to get that per square amount. So on the bottom here, I think you can see this here, just the biggest considerations when you're looking at this number. One, type of building. And in my experience, and I may be wrong, and somebody can certainly correct me, the construction material doesn't seem to change the valuation too much unless it's something really, really unique. Most of them are frame or block. It doesn't seem to change it that much, just what I've noticed. But what does seem to change it is those built-ins that I mentioned. So if it's again, like a high-rise office where there's like partitions everywhere, and those all got to get framed out, makes the big difference versus, say, a warehouse that maybe steel walls and just square footage, right? A big slab, square footage. There's not a lot of partitions. There's not a lot of separators. So it's a little bit easier to throw up a little bit cheaper. I found that makes a big difference. So I don't mean the type of material. I mean the type of business that's in there and what kind of building they're going to need. The second thing, make sure you have the proper square footage. It seems so simple, but usually when I see difference in evaluations, it's because one party used, say, 30,000 square feet, and the other party used 40,000 square feet. One of those is going to be higher. So the details matter. Don't get me wrong, but you want to make sure first and foremost you just have the right square footage, because that tends to be that, and ceiling height seems to make the biggest difference as far as differences in valuation. So these are three simple ways, that you can spot check that limit. Because getting it right is very important. Thank you. Have a good weekend.